everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
Welcome back, everyone. We're no longer with Fangoria.
We're not?
No.
Oh, man. Hope it doesn't affect our advertisement sales.
I know. I really hope so. And we have an announcement coming soon. I don't know when. We might have to edit this episode. I doubt it. But we've got some announcements coming up. T-shirt stuff and other fun news. So stay tuned to Twitter and our Snapchats and our Instagrams and our Facebooks for those announcements. And we're going to be doing some giveaways too. Coming up. Actually, by the time this comes out, I think we'll be running an Instagram giveaway. So I have one planned I meant to talk to Joe about, but we're running late. Speaking of running late, I've got nothing.
The Howling?
That's the worst segue of all time. The Howling II, excuse me, Howling II. They dropped the for this one. And added, your sister is a werewolf.
Yes.
Which sounds like a 1950s beach party B-movie.
I would have enjoyed that way more.
Oh, I was actually kind of hoping that's what it was. I knew kind of that it wasn't a very popular, movie. But I didn't know. I thought it was because it was just going to be campy.
Now, you're not a fan of the first Howling.
No, I'm not. I don't like it.
I like the first Howling a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know why there's so many fucking sequels, and none of them are good. Is there 6?
Yeah, I think there's 7 I read.
Huh. Well, yeah, there's
my
one...
brain there's 7 Texas Chainsaws, which also blew my mind.
There's one that came out recently called, Howling Reborn. Never saw it.
I mean, I've got a lot of problems with this movie, but... I don't know. We should just get into it. But first, sponsors. These lovely people sponsor us on patreon.com/IHateHorror. And they are wonderful people. Thank you guys so much for your support on that. That's Lynn S. Don't know how to say this one because I did not write down her real name. Kixin Chaos, which is also her Twitter handle. So follow her. Give her a follow. Daniel H. Thank you so much for upping your support to us, and Stephanie B. I don't know who that was.
Some new names there.
Yeah. There was a lot of new names actually. It was weird.
Nice.
Very weird. Well, it's not really weird. It's very nice.
Very
generous.
Nice, yeah.
But I was
fucking weirdos.
Usually it's like people I know, or that
interact with you. Yeah.
Interact with the show, and these we got some straight up. New blood here.
Yeah.
So good for them. So and hopefully we came up with a concept for a bonus episode that I think we can actually record while we sit around after that show and after we actually do the hard work. It's not hard work, but whatever. Howling II, brought to you by Stephen B, a Patreon supporter. Released in August 28th, 1985. What a time to be alive. Starring a bunch of B-movie actors, you could call them.
Bad actors.
Oh, the worst. Except Christopher Lee.
Who is really good in this.
So good. And
so professional.
I posted a tweet that, he can make a bad movie, a really bad movie, watchable. When he's on the screen, I don't mind it. I mind it a little less.
There was a piece of trivia that I read that even he realized how bad everybody else was. He said he felt bad because he was off-put by just being in the scenes with these people.
Oh, really?
You could almost see it.
Yeah, that's like playing football with a professional football player. They'd be like, why am I going to embarrass this person right now? By doing my job. And you're like, okay, I'm ready to play.
Right.
And they're like, fuck. That must be it. How can you even act with somebody that doesn't know how? Because none of these people knew how to act.
But these people have been in other things. I post about your Hunter of the Future.
Oh, yeah.
And that the main guy in this was Yor.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I mean, that's a terrible example because Yor's a terrible movie.
Well,
Can you believe he was in
Christopher Lee? Do you know the story about Christopher Lee and Joe Dante?
How he apologized to him for being in the sequel?
Christopher Lee was in Gremlins 2, and I had read it a while ago, and I saw it on Wikipedia today, and it said the first thing he did when he got on set was approach Joe Dante, who directed the first one, and apologize to him for even taking part in the second one. Yeah. And then he also said the only reason he ever did it was because he wanted to act in a werewolf movie.
Yes, I saw that too. You know,
like there's a shortage of them. Like, just if you went to a studio and was like, "Can you make me a werewolf movie?" I'm sure they would have done it.
if he's a fucking Hammer legend.
Yeah, like it's fucking insane. Oh man! And then again, Wikipedia gives us the awesome, in later years, the Howling II has acquired a cult following.
Right, we talk about
Go
that all
fuck
the time.
yourself. I'm so sick of that shit. It's unbelievable.
The movie that we're doing next week, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, I would choose willingly Howling 2 over that. So
I don't know.
There's that.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's Texas Chainsaw 3D. They dropped the massacre because I don't know why. It's the same fucking movie. It's just the remake done over again. Oh man! But let's talk about Howling 2. Let's get into this flick. Yeah. So not a fan of the first one for myself. This movie did nothing to bring me back in. You know, my biggest problem with these movies, or not these, although I didn't like it in the first one. I don't like the lichen type style, like the wolf style. But this one was all over the place with their makeup. Wasn't that weird?
it was very weird.
Some wolves had snouts. Some wolves were like Wolfman.
Some were just like burn victims.
Some were just burn victims. It was so fucking
So stupid.
bizarre.
Honestly, this movie probably had the worst editing I've ever seen in a film in my entire life.
And
what do you call that when like the screen cuts to another shot, but they use that shitty art like you do in high school?
Yeah. I can't think now, but it's like fading in and out of the shots.
Yeah, but using like a design.
Yeah,
There's
like
so
a
many
dissolve,
times it would
yeah.
like turn into a circle or a square.
Dude.
Give me a fucking break.
Dude.
Never seen a movie like that.
Dude, like, again, me and Joe aren't like film critics, but when we notice editing and things of that nature, it is insane. It's insane. Like, we should not pick up on stuff like
I mean, I was already out of this movie, but
Oh.
any investment that I had, those edits took me right out. That's why I have to pay attention to.
There was a ton of scenes where it was like, wait, I don't
And the
give a shit.
splicing, dude. Oh my god, they would talk about things and they would just splice like a person's face. It was,
Oh my god.
it was like
that
seizure
was my
inducing.
favorite
It was
thing.
stupid.
That was my favorite thing.
This so many times.
Dude, throughout the movie,
The
it
guy
was
would be
just
telling
flashing
the guy
shit.
would be telling like a fact, and in that like one sentence he was saying would flash to like 10 different things.
Yeah, it was so weird. That was the weirdest thing. And all shit we've already seen, by the way.
Yeah,
Scenes like all right, we'll get into it. So Christopher Lee opens up the movie just standing there talking, but it's
With,
like
an
dubbed
outer,
over.
outer space like backdrop too.
It makes no sense whatsoever and does not come back.
I think he's talking. Yeah, but yeah, who's he addressing?
I don't know. He's just talking nonsense though. He's like, oh no, but like,
Yeah.
I rewound it because I thought I was missing something in the
not.
story, and it made no sense. Oh my
unreal.
god, it was amazing.
That was like 3 good minutes.
Oh, it was so long. That leads to the credits, and then we open up to this funeral.
It cuts to LA, which it had the need to tell us.
Oh, yeah, it was absurd. The murder victim, it's a funeral for a murder victim, which is for some reason being discussed like openly by the priest.
Yes, who might be Stephen King.
Who might be Stephen King and who might be a politician in disguise, like rallying these people. He's like, we gotta stop crime in this city. It's like, it's a woman's funeral. What are we talking about? You're supposed to be a priest. That was weird. He's like talking about the socioeconomics that are going to affect this death. And did you see her breathing in the casket?
Yes.
Like breathing, like not even trying to hold her breath. That was awesome.
I thought about that after because at first I was like, because her eyes open at the very end of the funeral. So I was like, oh, maybe it was supposed to be she was alive. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah, that's what I thought actually.
It's not.
Because she's just breathing.
Because they used a real person.
And the funeral ends. And they were getting glimpses of Christopher Lee. He's clearly this mysterious type of figure. We're not sure what he is yet. And we also meet a couple of weirdos outside that we don't know who they are, but they're just going, wait, what?
Well, we meet the brother of the girl.
Fucking meathead.
This guy's the worst. Yor. We'll just refer to him as Yor. He's at his sister's funeral and he displays the emotions of like a fucking gym sock. He just has like nothing. Like, it's unbelievable.
And that goes throughout
the entire movie. But I guess the big takeaway is that there were 6 other bodies found after this girl's murder. Hold on. I just remembered. Can I talk about it now?
Yeah.
All right. There's a scene in this fucking movie. So this girl's murdered, and it's like a mystery. And it turns out, not only is it not a mystery, but it was caught on film, and there was an entire fucking news crew that witnessed it.
Joe, I remember that scene, but I didn't even put together that this was a fucking mystery. You're right. Like, everyone's like, who the fuck murdered her?
What's going on?
Because this guy's like, I don't believe in werewolves. And then they show him a werewolf video, and he's like, I don't believe in werewolves.
It's a fake.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking nuts. Yeah, that is so funny.
Back in the beginning.
She's killed on film.
With witnesses that survived.
So many witnesses.
It is still like a mystery.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's 6 other bodies found, and the police say they look like they've been mauled by coyotes. So there's a bunch of weirdos, like Sean said. We have the brother and I guess the love interest. I don't even know who this girl is.
Yeah, she's like, I'll call her the sister-in-law. I don't think that's, I don't think they're married, but they're like dating.
Oh, I thought they started dating in the middle of the film.
No,
They
I'm
just
pretty
met each
sure.
other.
Oh my God, that would be insane.
I don't know, and I don't care.
No, I mean, I think you're right. I think you're fucking right, which is bananas.
So they're outside talking about the victims, and Christopher Lee is just lurking around. And keep in mind, this guy just lost his sister.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee gives him a business card that says he's like an occult specialist.
Yeah.
And this is the brother's first time meeting him, and he acts like a total fucking maniac. Just screaming right in his face, like, leave me the hell alone. All this guy did was give him a card.
It's so weird. And then it like kind of pans across, and there's these 2 weirdos standing like, I don't want to say in the woods because you can clearly see them, and everyone could see them walking by, and they're just grumbling. And we learned that Christopher Lee's name is Stefan, and they're going, "Grr, there's Stefan, grr," out loud as people walk by, including Stefan himself. So I guess we're to assume that, and we assume correctly, that these are werewolves or vampires or something. We weren't sure, but they're werewolves. They end up being werewolves. I had something else I wanted to bring up, and I can't fucking remember it now. It's gonna drive me nuts. That happens way later. Just this movie is so out there. It's so fucking stupid. It's unbelievable. It's just like unbelievable. So yeah, we learned his name is Stefan Cross. What is it? Krosko.
I have no clue.
Yeah. Yeah, and he approaches the woman. We'll call her the girlfriend.
Sure.
The girlfriend of the meathead. And he approaches her, and she says, what do you know about my sister? Because he walks up, he's like, I know about your sister. And she's like, oh, what do you know about my sister? And he's like, she's a werewolf. And she's like, oh, I'll work with that. And kind of goes with it.
And that's pretty much it. And then it cuts so quickly. They're the most abrupt cuts. Like, they almost give you whiplash. It cuts to the girl screaming in the coffin.
Yes, so she's alive.
Yeah.
Somehow. Which we'll find out later.
And then
Christopher Lee, 100-year-old man, goes to a nightclub and as a disguise wears the smallest sunglasses in the world. He's wearing those, like, I don't even know how you'd explain it. Like 80s Devo, thin.
Yes. Like almost like a 3D movie glasses.
Yeah. And but he's also just wearing a polo tucked into his jeans and a jacket.
And this is the most rowdy punk club.
Punk club, like hardcore punk club. Even though the band
is super new wave.
Yeah, it's the most new wave band possible.
And they only play one song, and they're featured about 10 times throughout the movie. And they play this song in its entirety during this scene.
Constantly. And then at the end again, which I can't wait to
Yes, and in the middle, they also play it in its entirety.
Yeah. Oh, and then remember, dude, this movie is the fucking shit. This movie is so fucking bad. So this is a nightclub. This is a nightclub, and it is a key location in the film. Later, we go to a castle of sorts, a fortress, where we'll find our baddie living. Sturba living. But then, do you remember that scene where they're in her fortress, and they're just like sitting around in her fortress, and all of a sudden it just starts cutting to clips of the club?
Oh, yeah.
But like the club is in the room.
It's like downstairs. Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
It's stupid, is what it is. To that band, that guy had the biggest keytar I've ever seen in my life.
Hugest keytar. Jamming out the keys. And Christopher Lee's having a blast with his tucked-in polo in disguise. Dude, and he's like 100 years old. It's insane. We jump immediately. This is one of those ones where it's like you have to explain to the fans listening, like, we're going to jump all over the place. But it's not because
of us.
We're fucked up. It's just because it literally does that.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, it just cuts, and now we're following a biker gang. Oh, a biker.
No. They were in the club.
Oh, were they?
And they go up to, like, the bartender, and they're just hitting on her in the most, like, abrasive way ever. And the girl says, "I never thought you'd ask." And they all say, "Party time!" And they follow her out and hop on their bikes. And they drive, like, 50 miles.
Dude, they drive forever. Because the whole song plays. So we're just watching people dance and kiss, and then these idiots driving. And half of them are in a biker gang, and half of them are, like, new wave shitheads. It was a nightmare. Like, never hang out with these people, ever. Yeah, and they just start howling, and you're like, oh, they're going to summon a werewolf by accident? Nope, she's just
a werewolf.
She's just a werewolf howling. And we start seeing her, like, kind of transform.
Her screams that she's letting out.
So gross.
It's so annoying.
She's transforming. It's not even a good transformation. She's just, like, standing there looking into the camera and, like, making stupid, disgusting faces. And that scene is spliced into the rest of the movie. Yeah. Like, forever. Like, you'll just be watching a scene later, and you'll see that clip over and over again of her, like, hiding, and it made no sense.
Also, these two guys that are trying to get with her are such fucking bozos. Like, she's transforming, they're like, "Oh, you want to play rough, huh?" But
I've got something for you, and he starts, like, zipping his zipper up and down.
How does his dick not get caught? It's such a dangerous game.
He was zipping it so fast quickly. Up and
down. I loved. Well, love's not a good word. Yeah, I laughed during this scene because she throws a bottle and hits the guy in the head with it. And he pulls out, like, the shittiest knife I've ever seen. Yeah. Like, all it would do is minorly annoy someone. Like, you just poke them.
Yeah.
And then the guy that he's with gets hit with a fucking barrel. Like, a huge barrel, like the size of his body, and it's thrown so slowly.
It makes no sense why any of this is happening. And we know where the werewolf girl is, and she's nowhere
near. She's not throwing that barrel.
It made no sense.
It hits him so hard.
And she's a werewolf. Why is she throwing stuff?
She could just
kill them. Yeah. It was so fucking weird.
So after the guy gets hit, the other guy's doing this thing with his zipper, and she's fully turned into a wolf, and she chops the guy's hand off. Yeah. Which, at this point, I was like, yeah, that was kind of cool.
I was excited. I was excited for things going forward.
Right.
I was like, okay, we can turn this around, but it gets so much worse. But here's my problem again with this one. Is there a worse effect than, instead of showing us the violence, just zooming in on a wolf face, like opening and closing its mouth? No. Like, ow, 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 ow. And then, like, the camera just zooms in, and then it cuts, and then there's, like, severed hands. And you're like, oh.
What happened?
Yeah. I hate that. It's just a cheap way out.
And then there's two other punks in there, And just like a Looney Tunes cartoon, one of them's like, he sees the hand, and he starts walking towards it, and like a fucking crate falls on his head.
Dude.
Should have said Acme on it.
It was, I don't even understand this. I mean, even in my notes, because I write them like, most of them are like real time, like just train of thought. And I was like, oh, they think it's the woman. And I was like, oh, wait, it actually is. That makes no sense, but yeah, I guess whatever. It's a very weird, very weird.
So these punks start getting dismembered, and one of the guys rolls off the roof of the house. I'm not even quite sure how he got on there, but he rolls off so slowly.
Dude, this movie. The brother and his girlfriend go to meet Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
Old Chris. He tells them werewolves are secretly living among us. She was working on a story when she got turned into a werewolf and arranged for herself to be killed. It's very brave of her. Also, Christopher Lee has the last videotaped broadcast of her. So I'm thinking, because he's like, I've got the tape. And the woman's like, oh my God, like, that went missing. Like, we've been looking for that. And I'm thinking it's like on location, like she's out somewhere or wherever the first one took place. Or, you know what I mean? Like, right. On the scene and she goes missing. No, we are presented with, he pops it in, and it's literally a wolf man. And again, a totally different variety than anything we've seen so far. It's like full-on universal wolf man in like a pantsuit, just sitting behind a news desk like, and then all of a sudden it's just like, and this guy just fucking unloads on her.
Why was there somebody with so many bullets there?
I mean, I guess she hired him, but why wouldn't she be like, don't come to my workplace? Also, how would that guy ever escape?
I don't know.
Dude, the wolf man just sitting behind a news desk. Like, as soon as Christopher Lee puts it on and hits play, it's like, oh, and it's like this dumbass looking wolf behind the desk. It's fucking ridiculous. And, oh my God, it's so fucking absurd. And there's like people in there. So again, like Joe said, there are people watching this. There are witnesses. It's on film. And the girl just goes, oh yeah, I know those people.
And the brother's still saying he doesn't believe it.
And the brother says it's a fake. So we're going places on this one.
And Christopher Lee is telling this story about how the werewolves are gonna expose themselves soon. Yeah, like waiting for this day.
And he busts out a poster board like it's a fucking office pitch. It's like a pitch meeting. He busts out a legitimate poster board.
Well, what was that guy that Charlie from It's Always Sunny was trying to find in the mailroom?
Oh shit! Of course I'll never remember. Oh. It's like an Italian. Sylvia? Sylvia?
I don't know.
The thing is, there's no...
Pepe
Sylvia.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Craziest thing, Mac. Craziest thing. You know, I've been looking for this guy for weeks. Here's the thing, Mac. There is no Pepe Sylvia.
I wish that's the route that Christopher Lee took.
I do too. He's just rambling. Yeah, it is Pepe Sylvia. And yeah. No, Charlie. In fact, all these people are real, and they've been waiting for their mail for weeks. There is no Pepe Sylvia. So I go to Carol in HR. Carol! It's a ghost town. Dude, that scene is fucking stupid. Oh my God, I love it. But yeah, he reveals it's the 10th anniversary of Sturba's birth. Seems pretty young.
She's so old. She's that old lady.
Yeah. And the werewolves are all going to reveal themselves unless they destroy Sturba.
Yeah.
Which again, super convoluted story there because. Like later, well, literally the end. Sturba's like, "Are you back to get me again?" He's like, "Yep."
The end is so anticlimactic.
Dude, this movie just fucking sucks. Yeah. So Lee is going to he's saying that The sister is actually alive because they pulled the bullet out of her.
Yeah.
You have to leave the silver bullet in them for them to like rest in peace. So she's alive in her casket.
Also, apparently, he says you can kill werewolves by driving a stake through their heart. Right?
I don't know. Did he say that?
Yeah, and then he does that. Because the very next scene.
Oh, yeah. And he also said, we should also mention Sturba. I need to mention this because later on it takes literally nothing to kill her. But in this, he is pumping up how strong not only is Sturba, but this other woman, Mariana.
Yeah.
Mariana, she's the strongest werewolf.
She's the one that we saw before.
Yeah, she's the first one at the throwing bins. She's the strongest werewolf. You have to use platinum or titanium to kill her, not silver. Silver won't kill her.
They dispose of these werewolves so easily.
Dude, every single one. It's insane.
All the fights are so
you don't even care because a werewolf shows up and you're like, well, they're going to kill her. Sure enough, Christopher Reeves is like, and they're dead. So they go save the sister or put her down, basically. And the family ends up showing up. The brother and his idiot girlfriend show up. And they're like, hey, what are you doing?
Because he has the dagger right over her heart.
Yeah, and he thinks like, I don't even know.
What are you about to do?
What are you about to do? And then a million werewolves pop out. And the brother is shooting. He has a gun. Just carrying that around with him. And he starts shooting these werewolves. But while he does, he's screaming like a karate guy. like you do when you would punch in a karate movie. Every shot he takes, he's going, yeah! 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 It was the most bizarre behavior I've ever seen on a film. Like, what director is like, all right, cut, print.
Dude, I don't know what anything...
Christopher Lee must have like just been binge drinking at night.
How do you not walk off that? Like, I'm fucking Christopher Lee.
Well, I mean, really, how long do you think it took him to film?
Well, that's a good question.
I bet it was like 3 days.
It was honestly probably less. The last 45 minutes is the same scene.
Yeah, it's true. So I get Lee does not kill her.
No.
She wakes up and becomes... Well, she'll eventually become... Well, all right. Yeah. But again, every single werewolf that we see in this scene that's being killed by Christopher Lee...
Ben kills her. The brother kills her.
No, nothing happens to her.
Well, he shoots her.
Because how does she become Sturba?
I don't know. I don't know. But Christopher Lee is standing over her with the dagger. The brother's being like, no, don't do that. And then the werewolf hand grabs Christopher Lee and like sits up, and the brother shoots her.
Okay.
Also, I have a confession to make. I had no clue that was her that became Sturba.
Yeah, they used her body, but it's not her. Dude, it's so fucking convoluted. I'll explain it later when we get to the scene, because it makes no sense.
I knew that Sturba used someone. I didn't put two and two together.
Her. Well. But yeah, I guess they didn't need her. She was dead. They just used her corpse.
Use her body to take
That's
form.
fucking dumb and confusing. That's really fucking stupid. I'm really angry about that. Like, I'm really pissed. Because I was like, oh, she's alive. They're like taking her spirit. Like, Sturba's entering her spirit.
Nah.
No, she's dead.
No, Ben shoots her.
Oh, well, that's good. And again, all these werewolves look completely different. Not a single werewolf, much like snowflakes, every werewolf looks completely different than the other. It was like they couldn't, like, I don't even know.
Also, at this point, my wife asked how much time was left. We were only 25 minutes in.
Dude, it was crazy. We cut, now we're in, all of that took place in LA.
Yeah.
Now we're in, like...
Transylvania?
Transylvania? Are we literally in Transylvania?
I don't know.
But, like, yeah, it's like a...
I thought I heard somebody say something about Transylvania. I could have made it up.
We see Mariana, the strong werewolf. She's getting off a train in, like, the hottest black leather dress of all time. Don't know why you'd wear that to Transylvania.
Also, this town has so many parades and festivals in the street.
It's literally all day, every night. All night. They meet some weird businessmen, and they say, Sturba's excited to meet you. And then they load her into the crappiest little caravan wagon of all time. And they're driving this wagon. Sturba's in the back with a bunch of dudes. And the people driving it are like, oh, they're getting hungry. Did you pack food? And the guy's like, no. And they pass these like German tourists
who are wearing the shortest shorts ever and like humming and singing,
which is dubbed over. And it's like really just like, it's like just a stereotype. Like they're like, oh, like we're German. Like they might as well be saying that. Like it's just like, oh. And I don't want to say the one thing I was going to say because the guy says it later, but we get to see a scene that is like Joe's biggest pet peeve in a movie when things like this happen, which is breaking the fourth wall. This guy, they pick up these two weirdos, they throw them into the truck. Okay, we get it, they're food. And some guy who we have no idea who he is just looks into the screen and goes, what does he say? Schnitzel. That's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, poor Joe. Poor fucking Joe.
That was the least of my concerns just watching this movie.
Yeah. And then now we get to see the ritual where they turn the woman's corpse, which again, how's it in Transylvania? Maybe it is another woman. I don't know. But I swore they referenced that it was the sister.
I don't know.
Let's just roll with it. And they somehow summon Sturba.
And they're all the other werewolves are wearing the stupidest things on their head.
Yeah, there's all these werewolves like standing around or women standing around.
In this movie, there are werewolves that are wearing night masks, like the Knights Who Say Knee in Monty Python.
Yes,
it had to be like the same prop. I don't know why they're wearing them,
dude. How about later? Fuck, I want to talk about all this shit now. How about later when they the little person throws a fucking knife 100 yards, and there's a guy in full like medieval armor, and it just hits him, and he's like, ugh, and just dies. It was fucking insane. It was the most insane thing. He's wearing a fucking metal helmet.
Yeah.
And this guy throws a knife 100 yards away, and the knight's like, oh! It was insane. Let's see, what do we get to see here? Oh, there's a giant female orgy like we discussed.
Yep.
There's some old ladies standing around watching it, which is fucking awkward. At best.
Yeah, at best, yeah.
What else do we get?
The old lady shoots lasers out of her mouth.
Yep, that happens.
Into the young body, and everyone's just chanting Sturba as she does it. And then I think it's the old lady's face, but you wouldn't know because you're watching the old lady shoot lasers, and then it just splices to the old lady's face melting, and then it goes back to her shooting lasers. Like she's standing right there. I don't know what's happening.
It was so weird. We cut to Christopher Lee and the family driving in Transylvania, and they're like so happy-go-lucky at this point for some reason. And they accidentally kill a lady. Or no, they drive by. They drive by an accident. I have to stop you
because you talked about the orgy, but Sturba is just ripping off like one part of her outfit, so one boob comes out, and that's a pretty important part of the movie.
It is.
You see it at least 900 other times. She just rips it off. There's one boob's hanging out.
And I didn't notice it in that scene, which is why it's not in my notes.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, because
that's why the end was like really weird to me. Because I was like, what scene was this?
What's the other werewolf's name? Melanoria?
Mariana,
the one male werewolf and her are having sex.
Yes.
And the guy is, whatever, he's howling, and it's just disgusting. And Sturba's just standing there, whipping out one boob, and then finally, after that scene ends, she rips out the other one. She's just standing there bare breast.
It's so weird.
I don't know why.
It's so fucking weird. And so the family's driving up to Transylvania. We don't know how they got there. We don't know anything. We don't know anything about what's going on, period.
Right, yeah.
They drive by an accident. Or do they kill a lady? Or they just see it?
They see an accident.
They see an accident.
There's a lady lying on the ground,
right.
and there's a bunch of people by, and like, she's hurt. And then this lady, she's like, closer. And they like lean down like an inch away from her face, and she's like, whoa, whoa, woo, woo. That's exactly what she said.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, it was really weird. And meanwhile, Christopher Lee is like Like, this is like a critical point. They're in like a unknown land, and Christopher Lee's like, yeah, I gotta go. And just like bolts into the woods. And these two are like, all right, let's just keep driving.
Well, he kills her first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's a werewolf. And then they get back in the car, and then there's a werewolf in their car. For no reason. A werewolf just comes up in the back. And it's like, ooh! This movie fucking blows.
Dude, that woo sound that guy makes is so annoying, too. It's like obnoxiously annoying.
Oh, wait. Are you talking about the sex scene with the wolf?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, there's a sex scene, a gross werewolf sex scene, and the only reason it's notable is because the werewolf is just going like for like 10 minutes while he's like getting laid. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. A blindfold werewolf though was in that scene too.
Yep,
I liked that.
I guess.
Like, why not have wolves of different color?
Sure.
All right, I thought that was pretty cool. Best scene ever alert for this movie.
Nope.
Well,
there's a better one.
There's a lot of actually really good ones, but I at this point, this was the best scene in the movie, which is the brother and his girlfriend go to the hotel, and they check in, and they're like, "Oh, what's our room?" And they're like, 666, and they're like, funny, it doesn't seem like this place would have a 6th floor. And then everyone just starts
they're laughing so long
and so evilly, and they're just like and these people are like, oh, all right, and then they just go to their room. Like,
but first she had bought like a bundle of garlic, and the clerk has fangs, so I think he was a vampire because they don't like garlic. But he is so sad. Like, that guy showed the most emotion out of anybody in this entire movie.
It was so weird. Like, what was this scene?
I don't know, dude.
What was happening? It was insane. I think there's a sex scene here, but whatever.
Sure.
Oh
no, yeah, the brother and the girl start getting it on.
Yeah.
Because she is moaning wildly, and all he's doing is hugging her. Not even dry humping,
Classic.
just like hugging her. She's like, oh.
They end up outside at one of the many festivals in town.
After they have no. While they're having sex, there's a guy outside who can like smell it.
Oh yeah,
it's like sniffing in the air.
There's shit like this like throughout the movie, like. It just cuts to people being like, but never like...
These two are fucking, and this guy like sniffs and smells it, and like he's getting hard because he keeps like inching closer to the girl, and he's like gyrating his hips.
I never know. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah. That was
stupid.
Weird. And then...
it cuts... No! Oh my god, we can't glaze over this, because the guy outside smells him having sex. He's getting all randy, and then it cuts. It cuts to a close up of an owl, a big stupid owl face.
Yeah, I think this happens later. No, I guess not. It must happen now. Okay. Yeah, no, I was just seeing because I don't have any notes on it, and I remember all this stuff that you're saying because I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?" But I must have just been.
Yeah, my note is actually, "What the fuck am I watching?"
I must have just been furious at this point. But somehow they end up outside at this festival. And they see this little person. Is it okay to call him dwarf? They call him dwarf throughout the movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, but that's what they call him.
Oh, it's not okay.
I'm sure they don't like it.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm an idiot. So I think little person's the appropriate term.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll use. So they see this little person, and the girl goes, "You see that dwarf staring at us? Should we follow him?" The guy goes, "Why not?"
All he's doing is looking
at them. Why would you do that? And again, you are in like a strange land. Like, you are in a place you don't know, you're not familiar with. Like, right. Why would you follow anybody?
You wouldn't.
Especially because they're all evil.
Especially since one guy's looking at you.
Just staring at you. Should we follow?
And the guy's like, why not? And the dwarf just points. Like, okay.
And it leads him to Christopher Lee.
Yeah. He could have just told them.
He could have just went with them. He's in the same town.
He abandoned them.
He abandoned them in a strange world. Oh my god. And then somehow, I mean, I don't even know how this occurs. There's some talking here that I've zoned out during. I don't even know how this happens, but the little person and the brother go to like infiltrate Sturba's place.
Because while Christopher Lee's talking, he's telling them about all the killings that have been happened, and you know this because they splice every single killing into his story. Like rapid fire.
Yeah.
And then he's like, this is where Sturba lives. So they decide to go there.
But then they come back and they're like, we found out where Sturba lives.
I know.
And I was like, why wouldn't Christopher Lee know that?
But he does.
I know. It's so weird. So, but this segment of the movie brings us so many wonderful moments.
Why? Because they decide to go watch a puppet show first.
I forgot about that.
Like, we're gonna go find Sturba, but first let's watch this puppet show about werewolves.
And it's so long.
It's an entire puppet show.
It's so long. And this is the dwarf. They creep up on the door, and there's a guard in full medieval regalia, and this dwarf throws like a knife 20 miles away and somehow defeats him. And then, I mean, he wounds him so badly that this little person could just walk up to him and just bash his head in with a stick. But it's not even a bashing. Like, he like whacks him.
Yeah.
But he's down.
Hits him with a mace. Is that what you call it? The big ball?
Yeah.
That's on a chain?
Yep.
Also, during this scene, Sturba is walking around in the castle, and there's so many voices talking, but there's not a single person in that room.
And Sturba's looking hot as hell. I'm loving this leather look. She's now switched from like weird ass robes
nude
to like this like full on leather, like what Stephanie McMahon wore at WrestleMania. Yeah. It was insane. It was absolutely awesome.
They enter the castle.
And this is like when they start really like reusing the clips over and over again. Like, we're just seeing clips at this point, so there's like nothing to talk about.
Well, when they enter the castle, Sturba's just going, ooh, and shooting shit out of her fingers.
Red lightning.
This kill is not terrible.
This kill's amazing. And again, I was like, okay, maybe we'll pick it up for the end of the film. But they don't.
They don't. But this kill's amazing because
it is.
The guy's eyeballs fall out.
Dude. They just like drop straight out, and it's amazing. Yes. And it's so good.
Best special effect in the entire movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's really good.
And then we get to the little person in a mask, like right after the scene.
Yeah, running around.
But did you think that was the same little person?
No,
because I thought it was a girl.
Yes.
Okay. Because it's just running around giggling and be like,
yeah. No, I was fully. I mean, we just watched that other little person die, and literally the next scene, this little person is with Christopher Lee, giggling like a little girl
with a
or
mask.
a child, and is just running around going like, and Christopher Lee's like, "Get back here!"
He's trying to interrogate it
and chasing it around, and then
takes off his mask, and it's just a guy.
It's just the same guy that's been dead. He's got no eyeballs in his head. Yeah. And Christopher Lee is unfazed and is just like...
Yeah, this might be the hardest I laughed at.
This is his avatar, or whatever he calls it.
I was laughing so hard at the reveal that it wasn't actually a girl. It was the same guy. And then the guy slashes Christopher Lee and then falls out a fucking window. the guy falls out a window and gets impaled.
Oh my god. It is so fucking weird. And he confirms that this is the magic of Sturba.
Yes.
How does Sturba even die? She's like, she can do whatever the fuck she wants, it appears.
I don't know. But then after that guy falls onto the spikes, there's a bunch of more boring talk.
Yeah, we also missed that they actually captured the sister.
Yeah.
By some guy who's like, I'm going to have sex with you.
That scene happened so quick. And
First of all, why was that girl with him?
I don't know. Why?
And she was in the woods by herself, and he's like, He's like, you've been with a werewolf? And then Sturba comes and it's like, get inside.
And then they tie her to something.
They tie her into like a room full of skulls.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then we cut to another huge werewolf orgy with all the women like feeling on each other naked.
Such a waste of time.
And then we cut to the fucking new wave band.
Yeah, the new wave band. I didn't even write anything about that because I was just so pissed off about it. And this guy looks like Jimmy Smits too. The guy that's working for the werewolves. Fucking Jimmy Smits Jr. rubbing blood all over the sister. Or not the girlfriend.
And Sturba's just watching them all have sex or like feel each other. And she's like feeling herself. I don't know what's happening.
No. And Christopher Lee, the brother, and a giant mob of people decide to go kill Sturba. But she, of course, knows they're coming. Which... Christopher Lee has bombs.
Yeah, fire bombs.
Well, yeah,
Molotov cocktails. Yeah.
Fucking insane. Yes, the special effects in this are just like super weak,
man.
though.
Oh, man. So they show up and there's like a 10-minute slew of just them slaughtering werewolves.
Just like walking around and just killing werewolves that pop out. It was like a haunted hayride.
Yeah.
They're walking around this set path and werewolves are just like, boogie, 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 boogie. And then they're like, and then it's over.
He throws the big firebomb and then the priest walks in.
Oh my God.
And Sturba.
But why does this movie is a fucking mess.
Oh, yeah. It might be one of the biggest messes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like in terms of just like incoherence. It's really up there.
And to be like a big name and like a big release.
Like honestly, we shit on Peter Rottentail because it's so poorly made.
Right.
But this might be a bigger mess of a movie.
I agree. Christopher Lee's in it.
At least like Peter Rottentail had like a linear storyline kind of.
And it's like, and it's an independent thing. Like people that have like real daytime jobs were like coming home at night and filming that. Or like taking weekends off to film that and edit it. This is like grown ass people that do this for a living.
Yes.
Making this fucking movie. And it's a disaster. It's a total fucking disaster.
So this priest walks in, Sturba says welcome, and the worst looking bat I've ever seen in my entire life attacks him.
It's like a werewolf bat. It's so stupid. But it claws out his eyes too.
Yeah.
And
his
then like
tongue.
sticks his tail in his mouth.
Was it his tail or his dick? I had no clue.
I don't know.
It's like something phallic in his mouth.
Very phallic. And all we do for like, honestly, like a minute and a half, it's just the thing is done attacking it and we're just seeing its whatever in this guy's mouth.
His mouth is
wiggling around. Like there's nothing else happening in the scene. It's just this wiener wiggling around in this guy's mouth. It's so fucking bizarre. It's so fucking weird. The brother makes it to his girlfriend who's chained up and frees her.
Yep.
And he also kills the most powerful werewolf of all time.
Just by stabbing her.
Like, dude, like a shanking. He just walks in and is like,
yeah.
And it's over. Mariana's dead. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like, if you're playing at home, how many times I've said anticlimactic, you'll be pretty drunk. But
yeah.
I'm going to say it again. That was so anticlimactic.
It was
supposed
crazy.
To be.
Like, they hyped her up almost more than they hyped Sturba.
They definitely did.
They were like, she's the most powerful werewolf of all time. Christopher Lee, though, he's going after Sturba. He's got his eyes on the prize. And he finds her. Instantly. Yeah. He turns like one corner. He sees like, dude, the most boring narration of all time. He's mumbling.
Oh my God. And it's just droning on.
Dude. With no, like, if you're going to do a narration, like, make it matter. And it's just like, here's Stevie. Upside down cross. I don't know why I'm not giving him a British accent, but.
Also, he dies.
Yes.
And he's still doing the narration.
Yeah.
He's still doing the voiceover.
Yeah. He finds her. She says, we meet again. And he says, for the last time. She says, Stefan, you could never resist me. And she lures Stefan. She uses her red electricity, and instead of just blowing up his head, she brings him over to him so they could like caress. But what does he do? He stabs her?
I don't know.
But whatever happens, he easily just kills her. He stabs her. He stabs her. He stabs her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm dead." And then they both catch on fire.
Dude, it happened so fast because I honestly was watching this entire movie. I didn't get up once. Like I must have blinked or something and just saw them on fire. I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, they're both on fire, dying before our very eyes. And then meanwhile, it's cutting to the priest's mouth, and the wolf bat is just like poking its head out and looking around. And it keeps, dude, we see this stupid wolf bat scene like 4 or 5 times. They just keep cutting back to Wolfbat, who's like a fucking like an Ewok or something, like the Ewok babies.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
So they're both dead, and now the brother and the girl are trying to go back home, and the brother's just walking in town. He pulls out a gun and puts it right on this guy's nose for no reason. He's like, "What's the quickest way to the airport?" And the guy just points behind him, which is the way they were walking anyways. He's like, "Thanks,
dude." It is the most lame fucking scene of all time. It is so fucking lame, and this guy was just a street performer. He was just playing at their fair, and he puts a gun in his face and says, "Which way's the airport?" Like, why would you even ask anyone at that point? Whatever. But this movie's not over yet. We get this long, drawn-out ending. Okay, so, like, you see this in a lot of movies. The movie's over, you wrap it up, and then you get, like, one more scare, one more, like, are the werewolves still around? Huh? And it's usually quick, though. It's like, oh, who's at the door? Open it. It's a werewolf. The end. This is the most long, drawn-out fucking ending of all time.
So they're back home in L.A. It's Halloween, of course.
Of course.
And there's a knock on the door, and it's a kid in a werewolf mask. And then she's like, "Where did that kid come from?" And he's like, "Across the hall." And she's like, "Nobody lives there." And the guy's like, "Well, maybe they moved in while we were gone."
And then I'm like, okay, this is the end. But then they continue on with the story. She goes, we should invite them over for like wine.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, all right.
It's such a meaningless conversation.
And then they go across the hall and knock on the door, and there is somebody there, and it's a priest. And they're like, "Hey, where's your son?" He's like, "I don't have a son." And this guy is the biggest creep of all time. He goes, "I have no child. I live alone. Will you come in?" And she goes, "Maybe later." And he goes, "I hope so. I hope so." And they all laugh it off. They're all like, "That's weird."
Yeah. And then the movie's still not over.
No. Not even close.
Because now we go back to the fucking band playing the same song they've been playing this entire movie.
It just cuts to the band.
And probably the most, I guess, insane ending I've ever seen.
Yeah, 100%.
Is just splices of people's faces that were in the movie. Like, not even like Christopher Lee, like people that were the street performers.
Right.
And then it would cut to them and just go back to Sturba ripping her one boob out.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
And it was to the beat of the song.
The ripping was to the beat. It'd be
yeah, so if the beat was like do 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 do, it was like and like it was edited like she's ripping out her breast like to the beat of this song. And I was honestly, because I didn't see that scene earlier, I was like, did they do this just to humiliate her or something? Like it felt like a fucking personal attack. How often we saw her breast.
It's that one scene from before, and it was 17 times that they spliced that.
It was insane.
That's a fact. 17 times.
It was insane.
Why is that the ending?
I don't know. And then they also, the faces that they splice in are also supposed to be like reacting to Sturba's breast. I don't know if you caught that.
I did.
So it's all faces like, Sturba's breast? Oh boy. This film is the only Howling sequel that directly follows the original film's events.
Yeah.
And is the only Howling film to feature the input of the original novelist, Gary Brandner. I looked up this book online, and it's not very well received, so I don't know why you'd ask. Maybe that's why they didn't include him in the first one. They're like, your book sucks. We're just going to steal your fucking idea. Just take the check. Brandner was critical of the original 1981 film, which was only a loose adaptation of his novel. And some elements of this sequel may have been deliberately divergent from the previous films, though some, such as the film's retconning of the worldwide revelation of the existence of werewolves, seem to be accidental. Yeah, I'd say there was nothing planned in this.
Nope. Do you think we could make a better movie?
Yeah.
Me too.
Honestly. With everyone else's help. Like, with people's help. Like, you know what? Like, I think about Texas Chainsaw Massacre a lot. None of those people were actors.
Right. None of them.
It's not that hard. Like, it can't be that hard. Like, Tobe Hooper wasn't just fucking lucky. Like, you're lucky if you find one good actor. That's luck. Like, if you're just barely looking and you, like, get one that's really good. That's luck. to get a whole cast like he did for that movie, like it was like
Right, he
phenomenal.
struck gold.
Yeah. Can't be that hard. Just look.
I don't know, but I don't think I'd like to think that I would put something out better than this fucking nightmare.
I definitely would say I think you could do it, Joe. All right, guys. That's it for this episode, man. Really appreciate it. Also, we should give a shout out to homie Josh B for keeping it real in his review, writing us the most epic review of all time, possibly.
Yes.
It's insane. Thank you, Josh. That was like a super nice review. I mean, you did basically call Joe my sidekick, though. So thanks for that. I do appreciate the nod. But no, thank you for that review. It was really good.
Well, I'm going to say fuck you, Josh.
Josh, you've lost a fan. So that's it, guys. Rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. That's the best way to help us. It's been, you guys, the support was nuts this week with us leaving Fangoria. We debated whether we were going to announce it or not. We chose to announce it, and I was expecting, I don't know what I do when I usually write a stupid tweet, like here's a nothing. Here's nonsense that I'm going to type. So I expected the same thing, but like people were like outpouring support and stuff.
Very nice.
And just so everyone knows, it was our decision. There was nothing.
Yeah, a lot of people were. I saw they were saying
some people were like
everything's
concerned.
okay. Yeah, no,
and they're like, you're going to do well, and I no.
Yeah, no, like
don't worry.
It's what we wanted.
Don't worry. Yeah, it's exactly what.
But
we
thank
wanted.
you guys, and we always like single out like one person who wrote like a really nice review. But honestly, we read all of the reviews. Like
we do. And we screenshot them and send them to each other.
Yeah.
And we're like,
everybody that's taking the time to do that, much appreciated.
We totally appreciate that. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So that's the best way to support us. Just word of mouth, telling your friends. That's the best way. If you can support monetarily, we have shirts maybe still on sale at this point. store.ihatehorror.com. You can check that out. They're on sale right now for $9. We're just trying to get rid of this stock before our big t-shirt announcement. And that's like $13 for most of the United States.
Yes.
With shipping. What else do we do? Oh, patreon.com/ihatehorror, where you can donate. You can do, it's a monthly donation, but you can choose to opt in and out as you see. We are going to start doing bonus content for that, like a full bonus show. Hopefully we can stick to it. We've been trying, but we try to make up for it with other little odds and ends, live Google Hangouts and live streams and stuff like that.
Yes.
So, and that's it. Oh, we're going to be at Rock and Shock. Stephen King already passed, but it hasn't yet. So by the time this airs, we'll have already done the Stephen King night.
And it was great.
And it was fantastic. I loved Creepshow. It was a great film. But we're going to be at Rock and Shock October 14th.
Whatever the Saturday.
There's a Saturday in the teens. Go there. We'll I'll probably re-record this and put something in, like the exact dates and stuff. But go there. We'll be there checking it out. And I don't know if we're going to go to Brooklyn Horror Fest or not. So we'll see.
But Rocket Shack, Massachusetts is pretty big. So if you're in the area, come find us.
Yes. Come say hi.
I really want to meet.
I do want to meet people. I want to shake. I was thinking about it because we are going to shake at least one of our fans' hands there.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited about it. It's a weird thing. I'm just excited to shake somebody's hand that actually supports us.
Listens to us.
Yeah. Except my dad, who I can't look in the eye anymore. And then what else do we have to plug? Thank Harley Poe for allowing us to use his song on the opening. It's called Gorehound off the album Pagan Holiday. He's on CD Baby. That's the best place to find him. He just sent me an email the other day. So cdbaby.com. I don't know. Search him. Just look him up. What else? Facebook.com/ihatehorror.
Yep.
ihatehorror.com. I'm on Twitter at ihatehorrorshow and Instagram at ihatehorror.
I'm at JoeV421, Instagram Boognish1985, Snapchat Horror Show Joe.
You gotta get all your names on the same thing.
Like the same name?
Yeah.
Nah, fuck them.
8 different names. I never know how to find you on things. I always get a mix up between that and with like Letterboxd. I'm always like searching Boog, and I'm like, God, is it Boog on this one? And it's like, oh wait, no, it's Joe on this one.
Dude, I used to do that with all my passwords. So, like everything would be a different password.
Oh shit!
So
What a
frustrating.
nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, guys, that's it. Oh, I'm gonna implement. I'm not gonna do it these next 2 weeks. So why would I announce that? All right, guys. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. Everything you guys have been doing, it's been amazing. So we've got some big news. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next week. So for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.